Hey everyone out in internet land. Most of you who are watching this already know about my family archive project. Um, and as if that task wasn't cumbersome enough on its own, I also decided to go ahead and record some companion videos to go along with that. Um, yeah, even though I'm giving myself a little bit more tasks to put on my plate here, I think having a video journal has some advantages though. On the one hand, while I'm communicating with everybody out there on what I'm doing, it kind of forces me to think about what I'm doing, just so that I'm not going about it sort of willy-nilly. This way I have an established thought process and an established workflow in order to do a good job. And then on the other hand, this is going to be accessible to anybody in the world. So if somebody searches for the right things and they're looking to do a similar project, they can look and see what I've done and see what's worked for me and maybe what'll work for them, and so on and so forth. So it's a sharing is caring sort of deal, I guess. But anyway, in terms of getting started, that's exactly where I am with my project. I'm just on the front end of getting started. And one of the first challenges that I'm looking at is scanning a whole bunch of old prints for which I have no negatives. So I thought I'd first take a couple minutes to talk about some of my ideas and some of the challenges that I face with scanning old prints. Okay, so I mentioned scanning prints for which I have no negatives. Um, it's always a good idea to scan the negative if you have access to the negative. You're going to get a much better result by scanning a negative than you will by scanning a print every single time. It's kind of like the theory behind using a copy machine. Every time you make a copy of a copy of a copy, each generation away from the original, the quality degrades more and more and more. So always try to scan from the negative. You're going to get the best image quality that way. But sometimes you just don't have access to the negatives. Maybe they've just been lost over time, or you have a print like this, which was originally done in a studio. Now, since it was done in the studio, the family, we would never have had access to the negatives. The photographer retains the negatives. So in this case, I'm left with only one choice, and that's to scan the print. Speaking about prints in general, for my project, I have a lot of prints, and a lot of them are very, very old. So I thought I'd just maybe give a couple tips on how to handle prints and how to deal with really, really old prints, so that when you take them out of your albums or when you take them out of your archive boxes or what have you, you run the least risk of damaging them. Now, fortunately for me, I happen to work at a photo lab, so we work with old prints and old negatives all the time. So handling these with the greatest amount of care has become second nature to me. Now, I think that probably the most important tip is to hold prints just like I am now. Hold it always by the edge of the paper. You don't want to, put your thumb, on the surface of the print, because the oils from your skin are going to get onto the paper, and in the long term, that's going to end up damaging the paper. So always try to hold prints from the edge of the paper, like so. Now, on this particular print, and probably you can see there's a little piece of Scotch tape there at the bottom. I look at that and I'm really, really tempted to tear it off. I just want to get it off there. I think I run the risk of tearing the paper when peeling tape off, so I say just leave it on there. Scan the print with the tape on there. It's not going to hurt the scanner. It's not going to hurt the scanning bed or anything like that. And I'd much rather crop that out digitally than to run the risk of tearing the paper by removing the tape. So I guess that's pretty much it in terms of handling prints. You can also think about wearing cotton gloves, or they also make these little deals. They're called finger cots. They're just like little latex dealies that you put on your fingers. They kind of look like little condoms, actually, but that'll allow you to kind of free yourself up so that you can put your fingers on the print surface, and you run no risk of getting the oils from your skin on the prints. So finger cots are an option, or cotton gloves, or just don't touch the surface area of the print at all. A thing or two on prepping your prints for scanning. I think one of the primary tools of the trade for flatbed scanning is one of these guys right here. This is a microfiber cloth. It's a really good idea to develop a solid habit of every time you open up your scanning bed, just take your microfiber cloth and give it a gentle little wipe across. And what that's going to do is pick up all the little dust and hairs and little particles that have accumulated on your scanning bed. Even if it's only open for a couple seconds, that dust and the flatbed scanner, they're like magnets to each other. So yeah, just take that microfiber cloth and sweep it over the scanning surface. You obviously don't want to scan any of the hair or the dust into your digital image, because then you're just going to have to go into a program like Photoshop and get rid of it later. And that gets to be a kind of a cumbersome and annoying process. And then the other deal is you want to do something similar with the print itself, but I do not recommend swiping the cloth across the surface of the print. Your hands have been touching that cloth, and just like before, with putting your finger on the print, you don't want to do that. You don't want to get the oils that have gone from your skin to the cloth and then from the cloth to the print. So for this, I recommend using one of these guys, little can of compressed air. Just give it a couple little squeezes. Okay, that'll help get the dust and the hair off of the print itself. Now your flatbed's scanning surface is clean. Set the print right on the flatbed and it's good to go. That should minimize any of the dust and the hair that would otherwise get in the way. So microfiber cloth and can of compressed air are your best friends.